Thanks for coming, everyone. Liz, you can start us off.
So today we're going to talk about the checkout application, which is how you can sell your application on the AppExchange. I know it's late, so we're hoping you're not already checked out of this conference.
Good
before
pun.
we start.
Checked out. But yeah.
So before we get started, we need the forward-looking statement slide. Please remember that we are a publicly traded company, so all of your purchasing decisions should be based on information that's publicly available. I'm Liz. I'm a technical evangelist at Salesforce. I work primarily with healthcare partners as well as the analytics cloud.
And I'm Emily Hudson. I used to be a technical evangelist, just moved into product management. I'm from North Carolina, I like volleyball, and I went to Washington and Lee. A little bit about me. So today's agenda, we're going to start with the overview of what checkout is. Then we're going to talk about the checkout management app, which you can use to manage checkout. Then we're going to talk about setting up checkout, and we're going to show you a demo of what that looks like and how to set it up. Then we're going to go over next steps and resources, and then have some time for Q&A at the end.
And feel free to ask questions as we go. It's a small group, so if there's anything that comes up, please just jump in.
All right, what is checkout? Raise your hand if you guys are familiar with checkout or you kind of know what it is. Okay, some of us, good. So the whole point of checkout is it's super easy to use, self-service. The customer pays you directly, bing, bang, bong, super quick and easy process. The cool thing is it works with apps sold on the AppExchange. So how many of you guys have either put an app on the AppExchange or are thinking about putting an app on the AppExchange? Okay, good majority of the group. Oh, it's like a little disco. So this is what you guys can use to sell your apps to your customers. What happens is that the checkout process is powered by Stripe. So Stripe handles everything from collecting the customer's payment information all the way to processing that information and then distributing it to you. So Stripe handles every bit of this payment process. I feel like I should only be talking when the screen is up, but okay, and this is for ISV partners. And also there's an integration with the license management app, which you guys might be familiar with. And that means that as the license management app is updated and the licenses that your customers are using are updated, that automatically syncs to the checkout management app. So you don't have to manually get in there and say, oh, this customer upgraded to this license, let me do that. It's automatically handled and integrated super seamlessly, which is great. And like I said, the checkout process works with the checkout management app. And the checkout management app is the part that allows you to visualize the customer's data in a nice report so you know what's going on in a visual sense. So that is what checkout is.
Some use cases. Why would you use why would you use checkout and when? So it makes it easier for you to get to the market quickly because so much of this is handled using Stripe, and on the back end, you can focus your efforts on development and going to market because that's all taken care of for you. There's low overhead. Because this is out of the box and pretty simple to set up, there's less coding that needs to be done. I know this is a developer conference and we're all probably pretty familiar with code. It's still easier and better just to have it done for you. As Emily mentioned, the billing's handled automatically.
It's not really seeing black that much. You guys want me to switch it out?
I think we're fine.
Okay.
Is the screen bothering anyone too much? No? Okay, we'll just
Makes
keep going
you pay
then.
attention. You have to be quick to read the words in the second they're up there.
Or just listen.
or listen to us, even better.
Additionally, there's no redlining contracts. So I know paperwork's probably not everyone's favorite. Salesforce has a good amount of it sometimes. So with checkout, you're avoiding having to go through all the contracts as it's pretty much already set up for you. There's more payment types because this is powered by Stripe and different ways to pay, which we'll cover on the next slide. So for anyone who's not familiar with Stripe, it is a suite of APIs, and this powers commerce for businesses to use. This can be smaller companies, larger companies, whoever wants the benefits of Stripe. There's coupons that are allowed to be provided, so you can offer discounting and flexible pricing to your customers. And there's also different options. So you can do either per month or per year, and you can do by user or per company, or you could do a one-time payment as well.
So this is what the checkout management app looks like quickly right there. Okay, so he's going to switch the adapter. But as a summary, checkout management app allows you to leverage the power of Salesforce. It allows you to manage your customers and know what's going on, get an insight into what your customers are doing. And again, it hooks directly into Stripe. Skype could be a roadmap item, but no, it hooks directly into Stripe to manage payments. And it works in Lightning and Classic.
Although you should be using Lightning.
Though Lightning's the best. And these are the objects that are inside the checkout management app. So this is what will help you have a visual of what your customers are doing. There's the subscription plan object, which provides information about the pricing model of your offering. The child object of that is the subscription itself, which gives you information about the customer's history and then also the usage. Then there's the invoice, which is, of course, like any other invoice in accounting, so billing and payment information for a subscription for a specific period of time. And then there's the invoice items, which give you information about a particular billing and payment event, also for a specific period of time. And then the last is the transaction objects, which gives you information about the customer payment. So in total, it's everything you need to know about the transactions that are happening and the different payments your customers are giving you for your app.
So two things that come out of the box with the checkout management app that we're going to cover are reporting and notifications. And the reporting and notifications work in line with the objects that Emily just covered. So with reporting, again, this is an out-of-the-box feature, and you can do reports such as revenue per month. You can look at subscription plans. Also, you can see the status by month, which of your customers are going to buy it again, which aren't. You can see new subscriptions. You're able to customize this as well. So those are some of the basics that are already built in, but you're able to customize this with any additional data that you want to capture.
It's okay.
We're just going to make do here. So additionally, you can do notifications. So based on your reports, for example, you can see what you want to be notified on. This will help prevent attrition, will help make sure that you know your business better, and will help you to decide what you want to do going forward. So some of the benefits of both reporting and notifications, you're able to see feedback, how your application is doing, which can help you make changes for future releases. You can see new opportunities and also preventing churn, so making sure that the customers who currently have it installed are happy with it and aren't going to drop off.
So now we'll get into the sign-up process. How do you sign up for this checkout management app? You start in the publishing console, which is in the partner community. How many of you guys have ever logged into the partner community? Hopefully, almost all of you. Since checkout is for partners, you start here. So log in the partner community, click on the face icon, click on publishing console, and then you go to your listing that you've put on the AppExchange, and under the pricing tab, there's an option to do paid using checkout. That's where this comes into play. Then you have to agree to terms and conditions, and then you create your Stripe account after that. Then you connect your checking account, authorize the AppExchange to use that new Stripe account you created, and then you're ready to use checkout. So Liz and I are going to go into these 5 steps in more detail and explain exactly what each piece looks like so you're not confused. Again, this is a summary, but to activate checkout for your app, you have to first create the subscription plan. So when you're logged into that new Stripe account you created, you create some subscription plans, you go to the publisher home screen, select the pricing plan that you just created in Stripe, and then you select which plans are associated with which listings. Customers who buy your app on the AppExchange will provide their credit card information from there, because once you activate it, it'll say pay using your credit card, and that becomes an option. And then if they install your app, they'll be charged according to the payment details that you set up on Stripe. So now we're going to go through a demo.
We'll go through a demo. So These are just some prerequisites that Emily covered in the sign-up process. So one, you're going to need to have access to the partner community, and you're going to install the CMA, which is what we discussed earlier. Normally, this is going to be in your partner business org. That makes the most sense just to keep all the business and payment together in one org. You're also going to make sure that you have either the right permission sets or that you are the admin for that org. This is important because you won't be able to run the CMA without it. And then you're also going to need to make sure you have a Stripe account already set up before running this. So we've talked a lot about the CMA. This is an application, and you will get this directly from the AppExchange, and you're going to want to install this again in your partner business org. So we go to the AppExchange, and then we're going to install this. So assuming this is our partner business org, we're going to look for the app from the app launcher. And then we're going to see here that we have the checkout management app with the green shopping cart for money, because we are collecting money. This will take us to the checkout management app home screen. And there's a lot of different options in here that you can go through. You can look at reports, you can do notifications, and look at your listings. But since we don't have any data in here now, we're going to start with the setup option. So we're going to click on checkout setup. And this is going to allow us to configure the application to run with our app. So this is the setup wizard. This is the main screen that you're going to need to start with to get checkout and Stripe set up. So the first step, we're going to need to go and do the process and click Do It, which is connecting to the account. So here it's going to ask for an API key. So we will have this from Stripe. So make sure you write this down when you go into Stripe. So we have ours, and we're going to paste it in, and then we're going to click Continue. Where are we now? So once we've done that, we are ready to go, and this will take us to the next step, back to the wizard.
So next step is to set up data syncing, which allows you to create a Force.com site which becomes the endpoint in Stripe. So that's how Stripe knows where it's connecting to. So to do this, you click Do It. It's pretty self-service. This pop-up modal comes up, and you can see there's 3 main steps as part of this. First is to register Force.com domain, which if you've ever played around with the DE org and created a managed package, you're probably familiar with this, but it has to be a unique domain to your org. So if you go into the setup menu and click on domain, or type in domain on the left-hand side, you create some domain, whatever you want to put there. Check that it's available. Again, each domain has to be unique. No domain can be used twice for any org. Agree that you have read and accepted the terms of use, and then register that domain. So that's step 1. Then we go back to the modal. Step 2, create a Force.com site. Now that you have the domain, you can create the site. And these are the certain fields that you will have to create in order to create this site. So when you go into sites in the setup menu, this is the page that you'll see. Create a a site label, site name, choose the home page you want, the site contact, and then you want to make, you see that default web address right there where this mouse is underneath? That's randomly generated for you by the org when you access this option in the setup menu. So you don't edit that field. It's just like a random jumble of letters and numbers. Then you activate it, click Require Secure Connections, and then click Save. So step 1 and 2 are done. For number 3, Configure Site Access, you click on that, and then, oh, this is you.
So yeah, as Emily said, we're going to need to grant access to this site. So we're going to do this. We need to look at the label for the site. For ours, it's Stripe CMA, so we're going to click there. We're going to go to Public Access Settings, and then we will be going to giving access to the site. You can see the profile here. We're going to select Users. Site Guest User is what we're going to click on, and then we're going to do Edit Assignments. So we're going to see here that there's an option for the Stripe webhook use. We're going to select that and move it over to the enabled permission sets and click Save. So this is going to give the users the necessary permission sets and access to Stripe.
So now that is complete. the site is connected to Stripe. What you want to do now is log into Stripe and then add your URL to this endpoint in Stripe like I talked about. So this is kind of like the end result of these 3 steps is you get to do this. So when you click on create the site, well, first let's go into the sites, see what the URL is. It's right next to the site name. Copy and paste that whole site URL, which is the registered domain you have, and then the randomly generated default key.
Just to comment too, this is where you'll find the URL. If you already have this written down, this is an actual step. It's just showing you where to locate this. So if you've written this down previously, you can kind of just jet past this, but it's a necessary key that you'll need. So we wanted to make sure you all know where to find it.
Yeah, so copy that, and then when you click configure, connect to the site to Stripe, then it automatically brings up Stripe. So this is where you went to create that Stripe account, log in with your account, click on the endpoint section, and then you would add an endpoint there, copy and paste your URL, and then you're good to go. So that's that final piece that connects Stripe to the endpoint, which is your site that you created. Create endpoint, done.
So if you have any existing data, you're able to import that now. If not, no worries, we'll get that because we just now configured our account, so data will come in. So you can either import your data or skip this step.
And then you can also configure notification settings, so your customers will be notified when the renewal is coming close. All that can be configured within the Checkout Management app.
And additionally, with notifications, you can create them for yourself, so you can get notified when your customer is either buying your app or other settings that you set. Lastly, you can look at the dashboard, which we covered earlier. You're able to configure this with the charts and dashboard reports that you want to see there. Some resources and things to note on checkout. So the checkout fee is 15% and then 30 cents per transaction, which is what Stripe charges, but there's otherwise no fees. That's all up front, no minimum revenue share. So some partners find that a really great option. So also, Stripe doesn't currently accept payments from every country. There's a list of supported countries online on their website, and you can be notified when more are added as well. To use Stripe, you must have a managed package, and it also must be an ISV Force app, so no OEM apps for checkout. We'll publish this deck, but there's a checklist for checkout partners of different steps that you can take to get started. And then if you remember one thing from this is p.force.com/checkout, and this is where you will go to get any additional information. So the different links that we've covered today are going to be on this link here. That's where you'll find instructions. You can get more information on both the technical setup side and the business side of checkout. And to do this, you're going to need a partner community login. So hopefully I'll have that. It seemed like you do, but if not, you'll go to the partner community and sign up for that first. And then here's some resources on checkout, but these are all under the main link. So if you remember the one link, you should be fine. So is there any questions?
Yeah. That's one of the slides it was briefly talked about on this slide. So yeah, this is something that the partner would determine what they want their customer to be billed for.
It wouldn't be necessarily a usage, like how frequently you're on the app. If you wanted to have different tiers of your application, which some had lower features and some had more, you could change pricing like that, but it wouldn't be you've used the app X amount of hours. It's there's like customization options, but it's on when you bill, not kind of how a user interacts, if that was the question. That's when you would install the application. Yeah, so it's like a one-time. It's like a one-time install that they'll make when the application's installed from the AppExchange.
I don't think right now checkout allows for deferred payment. There's trials, but I also don't know if checkout partners have access to trial floors.
So checkout's kind of like I don't want to say lower tier, but it's more self-service. There aren't as many options as if you were a full partner. If you are looking for more custom options, I would say checkout might not be the best route to go. But I would contact either if you have a partner account manager, and they'll be able to help you out more, or I think there's office hours for partner community, and they can kind of help with that as well.
And if you want to suggest that they do start to add this in the process or whatever, you can reach out to our PM, Doug Sabella. He's going to kill me for putting his email out there. But yeah, good to know if that's a need out there. So, any other questions? Yeah. Sorry,
what? You can brand it and customize it so that it will look unique for your company.
It's associated with your listing. So if your listing's on the AppExchange, then yeah, everyone will see. Whoever clicks on that listing will see the option to pay using checkout, and then whatever options you determine there. You can't hand select prospective partners to allow them to pay in certain ways, if that's what you mean. You can also have a private listing, but if checkout's tied to that listing, if they access your listing, then they'll only have that option to pay using checkout. Yeah. Is there a promo or coupon code or something available for this? That's a good question.
Yeah, so you can. That's part of the benefit of Stripe is you can do different discounts and coupon codes for different partners and provide that to them.
It's on the AppExchange. So if you go to the AppExchange, type in Checkout Management App, you can find it there. Good question. All right. Nothing else? Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a good rest of your Trailhead DX.